Hey everyone, it's your girl, Emma Chamberlain, and let's be real, talking about money can be kinda dry. But guess what? It's also super important, especially when you're young and just starting out. Imagine having your money work for you instead of the other way around. That's the dream, right? So, in this video, we're diving deep into the world of investing for teens. We'll break down all the confusing stuff like what investing even means, why you should care, and most importantly, how to actually get started. Because let's be honest, adulting is hard enough without stressing about money 24/7. We're talking about setting yourself up for success, like being able to afford that trip to Europe you've been dreaming of, or finally buying those designer sneakers you've been eyeing forever. Investing is all about making your money grow over time, so you can actually afford the things you want in life. So, grab your iced coffee, get comfy, and let's unlock the secrets to financial freedom, one step at a time. Trust me, it's way more exciting than it sounds, and by the end of this video, you'll be a total investing pro. Okay, maybe not a pro, but definitely not a beginner anymore. Let's do this. Alright, before we jump into the exciting world of investing, we gotta cover some basic concepts. Don't worry, it's not as boring as it sounds. First up, savings. You know, that thing we're supposed to do but sometimes forget about. It's basically putting money aside like in a piggy bank or a savings account so you have it for later. Next, investing. This is where it gets interesting. Investing means putting your money to work for you. It's like giving your money a job, and hopefully, it gets promoted and earns you even more money. But with any job, there are risks involved, which is why we need to understand things like interest and diversification. Interest is like the reward you get for letting someone else use your money. It's like your money's paycheck. And diversification is like having a bunch of different side hustles instead of putting all your eggs in one basket. It helps spread out the risk, so if one investment doesn't do so well, you won't lose everything, see? Not so scary, right? Understanding these basic concepts is key to making smart investment decisions. It's like learning the rules of the game before you start playing. Once you've got a handle on these, you'll be ready to level up your financial game. Okay, so you're probably thinking, Emma, this investing thing sounds awesome, but I can barely keep my room clean, let alone open a whole investment account. And you're right, there's a catch. You need to be an adult, like a real grown-up with a driver's license and everything. But don't worry, there's a workaround: custodial accounts. Think of it like having a co-pilot on your investing journey, someone who's already got their pilot's license and can guide you along the way. This co-pilot is usually a parent or guardian, and they'll be in charge of the account until you reach the magical age of majority, which is 18 in most states, FYI. Now, I know what you're thinking. Ugh, my parents will never go for this. But trust me, most parents are actually super down to help their kids learn about money and investing. It's like a win-win situation. You get to start investing early and learn valuable financial skills, and your parents get to feel good about teaching you something important. Plus, having a custodial account means you can start building good financial habits early on, like saving regularly and making smart investment choices. It's like having a financial head start in life, which is never a bad thing, right? So, grab your parents, have a chat about custodial accounts, and let's get this investing party started. Okay, so you're thinking about investing? That's awesome. But before you even think about buying stocks or whatever, we need to talk about the financial holy grail, the emergency fund. It's like the foundation of your financial house. And trust me, you don't want a wonky foundation. Imagine this: your phone screen cracks, you need a new laptop, or your car decides it wants to retire early. These things happen, right? That's where the emergency fund swoops in to save the day. It's there to cover those unexpected costs, so you don't have to stress and go into debt. Think of it like this. You wouldn't jump into the deep end of a pool without knowing how to swim, right? Same goes for investing. Before you dive into the stock market, you need a safety net. That's your emergency fund, your financial floaties. Start small, even if it's just putting aside a little bit from each paycheck or allowance. Having that money tucked away will give you peace of mind and the freedom to invest with confidence, knowing you've got your back covered. It's all about building that financial security, you know? Alright, so you've got your emergency fund sorted. Nice work. Now let's talk about actually putting your money to work. And no, I'm not talking about getting a job at Starbucks, although, respect to the baristas, you're doing amazing. I'm talking about index funds and ETFs. Index funds and ETFs are like the superheroes of the investment world. They're basically baskets of different stocks or bonds. So instead of putting all your eggs in one basket, risky, you're spreading your money across a bunch of different companies. Diversification, baby. Think of it like this. Would you rather have a slice of pizza with just cheese, or one with all the toppings, pepperoni, mushrooms, olives, the works? Index funds and ETFs are like the pizza with all the toppings. They give you exposure to a whole bunch of different companies, which helps lower your risk. Plus, they're super easy to invest in and usually have lower fees compared to other types of investments. It's like getting the VIP treatment without the VIP price tag. So, yeah, index funds and ETFs are definitely your new BFFs when it comes to investing. Okay, let's be real for a sec. Sometimes the thought of investing can feel kinda intimidating, especially when you see the price of some of those big-name stocks, like who has thousands of dollars just lying around? Not me, that's for sure. But here's the thing, you don't need to be a millionaire to start investing. Cue the confetti! Fractional shares are here to save the day. They're like the mini-me version of regular stocks, allowing you to buy a portion of a share instead of the whole thing. Think of it like this. You want a slice of cake, but you don't need the whole darn cake, right? Fractional shares are like getting that single slice of cake. You get to invest in the companies you believe in without having to shell out a ton of cash up front. This is seriously a game changer, especially for young investors. You can start building your portfolio with even a small amount of money and watch it grow over time. It's all about taking those baby steps, you know? Fractional shares make investing accessible and less scary, which is always a good thing. Okay, so you're probably thinking, investing sounds complicated. And yeah, it can be, but that's where robo-advisors come in to save the day, or at least make it way less stressful. They're like the ultimate investing hack for beginners. Basically, you answer a few questions about your financial goals, risk tolerance, and all that jazz. Then, the robo-advisor, which is basically a super smart computer program, creates and manages your investment portfolio for you. No more spending hours researching stocks or trying to understand complicated financial jargon. The robo-advisor does all the heavy lifting so you can focus on other things like, living your best life. Plus, robo-advisors usually have lower fees than traditional financial advisors, which means more money stays in your pocket. It's a win-win situation. Let's talk about compound interest for a sec. It's kind of a big deal, and by big deal, I mean it's basically magic. Imagine this. You invest $100, and it earns you some interest. Now, instead of spending that interest, you reinvest it. Here's where the magic happens. The next time your money earns interest, it's calculated on the original amount, plus the interest you reinvested. It's like a snowball effect, but with money. The longer you invest, the more your money grows exponentially. It's like the ultimate example of patience paying off. And trust me, when it comes to investing, patience is key. So the earlier you start investing and let that compound interest work its magic, the better off you'll be in the long run. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Financial news is boring. And yeah, it can be. But it's also super important to stay informed about what's going on in the world of finance, especially when it comes to your own money. Think of it like this. You wouldn't just jump into a car and start driving without knowing the rules of the road, right? The same goes for investing. You gotta know the basics and stay updated on any changes or trends. Luckily, staying informed doesn't have to be a chore. There are tons of resources out there that make learning about finance fun and accessible. Like there are podcasts, YouTube channels, and even social media accounts dedicated to breaking down complex financial concepts in a way that's actually engaging. So do yourself a favor and dedicate a little bit of time each week to learning about finance. Trust me, your future self will thank you. Okay, so you're ready to dive into the world of investing? That's awesome. But hold up a sec. Before you even think about buying stocks or bonds or whatever, let's talk goals, people. Like, what are you actually saving for? It could be anything. A new phone, a car, vintage convertible, anyone, college tuition, or even a trip to like Bali. Having a clear vision of what you want makes saving and investing way more motivating. Trust me, knowing your money is working towards something specific is the ultimate mood booster. Think of it like this. If you're just randomly throwing money into the void, it's easy to get discouraged or spend it on random stuff. But when you have a specific target in mind, every dollar you save gets you closer to your dream. It's like leveling up in real life. So grab a notebook, your phone, or whatever you use to jot down your thoughts and get specific. How much do you need to save? By when? Break down your goals into smaller, more manageable chunks. It'll make the whole thing way less intimidating. And remember, no dream is too big or too small. Alright, let's talk about something super important. Avoiding those get-rich-quick schemes. You know, the ones that promise you'll be swimming in cash overnight. Yeah, those are usually too good to be true. Listen, investing is not about getting rich quick. It's about making smart, calculated decisions with your money over the long haul. And trust me, there are way more sustainable ways to grow your wealth than, betting all your savings on some random cryptocurrency you heard about on TikTok. High-risk investments like those sketchy penny stocks or meme-driven cryptocurrencies might seem exciting, but they're basically like playing the lottery with your hard-earned cash. And let's be real, the odds of winning the lottery are astronomically low. Instead of falling for those traps, focus on building a solid foundation for your financial future. Invest in things you understand, diversify your portfolio, more on that later. And don't be afraid to ask for advice from, a financial advisor or someone you trust who knows their stuff. Okay, so you've set your financial goals, you've dipped your toes into the investing pool, now what? Well, here's the thing. Investing isn't a set it and forget it kind of deal. It's more like a plant. You gotta water it, give it some sunlight, and maybe even sing to it occasionally. Just kidding, maybe. Just like you wouldn't ignore your plant for months and expect it to thrive, you can't just ignore your investments. You gotta check in on them regularly, see how they're doing, and make adjustments as needed. Think of it as a financial glow-up routine for your money. Life is constantly changing, and so are your financial needs and goals. Maybe you landed your dream internship and have some extra cash to invest, or maybe you need to dip into your savings for an unexpected expense. Adulting. The point is, your investment strategy should be just as flexible and adaptable as you are. Okay, so you're ready to start investing. That's amazing. But first, you gotta pick a brokerage. It's basically like choosing a streaming platform, but for your money. You wouldn't want to end up with a janky streaming service with no good shows, right? There are a ton of brokerages out there, and they all have different vibes. Some have super low fees, which is obviously a major win. Others have really easy-to-use apps that are aesthetically pleasing and don't make investing feel stuffy and boring. It's important to actually enjoy using it. Think about what matters most to you. Do you want fancy features or just the basics? Are you cool with paying a little extra for a better app? It's totally up to you. Do your research, read reviews, maybe even ask your friends who are into investing what they use. Honestly, it can feel kind of overwhelming, but don't stress too much. The important thing is to just start somewhere. You can always switch brokerages later if you're not feeling it. Alright, you've got your brokerage account set up. Now it's time to talk about the slightly awkward part. Depositing actual money. I know it can feel kind of weird to part ways with your hard-earned cash. But trust me, it's like that feeling when you buy something online and you're like, wait, did I actually just spend money? But then it arrives and you're obsessed. The good news is, you don't have to drop a ton of money in there right away. Start small, even if it's just like what you'd spend on a couple of coffees a week. Honestly, every little bit counts. Think of it like this. You're basically paying your future self, and that's pretty cool. Most brokerages let you link your bank account for easy transfers. It's super convenient, like ordering takeout. You can set up automatic deposits too, so you don't even have to think about it. It's like magic, but for your finances. Remember, investing is a marathon, not a sprint. The most important thing is to be consistent and make it a habit. Okay, financial pep talk over. Let's move on to the actual fun part, investing. Okay, so you've got your brokerage account set up, you've done your research, and you're ready to make that first investment. It's a big moment, kind of like posting your first YouTube video. Exciting and maybe a tad nerve-wracking. But trust me, it's way less scary than it seems. Remember those diversified assets we talked about? Index funds, ETFs? Those are your new best friends. They're like the perfect Instagram feed. A little bit of everything, well-balanced, and not too risky. Pick one that aligns with your goals and risk tolerance. Your brokerage can totally help with this if you're feeling stuck. Click that buy button and boom, you're officially an investor. Pretty cool, right? Don't go freaking out checking it every 5 seconds though. Remember, investing is like a long-term thing. Think marathon, not a sprint. Just let it do its thing, and over time, you'll start to see the magic of compound interest working its wonders. We'll talk more about that later, but for now, just bask in the glow of being a total investing rock star. Okay, so you've made your first investment. Congrats! You're basically Warren Buffett now. Just kidding. But seriously, it's super important to keep an eye on how your investments are doing. Don't worry, this isn't like a full-time job or anything. Most brokerages have these really user-friendly apps and websites where you can check in on your portfolio whenever you like. Remember, think of it like scrolling through TikTok, but instead of cute puppies, it's your money potentially growing. Way more satisfying, am I right? You can see how your investments are performing if they're up or down and get a feel for the whole market vibe. It's like checking the weather app, but for your money. Are you sensing a theme here? Knowledge is power, people. The key here is to not freak out if things get a little bumpy. The market goes up, the market goes down. It's like a constant roller coaster. Just remember, long-term growth is the goal. And that's it for today's video on investing for teens. I know, I basically crammed an entire finance textbook into like 20 minutes. But hey, at least you didn't have to sit through a boring lecture, right? If you found this even remotely helpful, please hit that subscribe button and give this video a big thumbs up. It really helps my channel grow, and it lets me know you guys actually enjoy this kind of stuff. And be sure to check out the links in the description box for some super helpful resources like actual financial advice. Because I'm just a YouTuber, remember? Most importantly, go out there and start investing. You got this. Bye.